Alrighty, welcome back to another segment of the 50-50 show. I'm your host, of course, Omair. This is my co-host, Omar. Next, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The main question we'll be looking at today is Jalen Williams to blame for OKC losing to the Dallas Mavericks.
OKC.
You can't make any mistakes with this guy. He will always get on your neck. But don't worry, I'll be doing the same to him when he starts spouting his nonsense.
Pause.
Nah, I don't pause. I keep going.
No man on my neck.
So, Omar, can you answer this question for us and the audience? Is Jalen Williams to blame for OKC losing to Dallas? And to make it real quick for you, it's yes. But continue.
Okay. Weird. But
what do you mean weird?
Listen, the answer is yes. Jalen Williams is 100% to blame for this loss. And I'll explain it, but I just want to say before one thing. The only reason we're even allowed to say that is because he is legitimately that good. You don't get to blame a mediocre player for a loss because a mediocre player shouldn't be carrying a team, So I'm on record. I think Jalen Williams is really good. I'm taking Jalen Williams over guys like Paolo Banchero. I'm taking him over a lot of other players.
Are you taking him over Sabonis?
I'm taking him over Sabonis.
That's blasphemy.
Easily. One of the best wing defenders in the league, but he won't get respect because DPOYs are only big men. But amazing defense. He's even played center when Chet was out and they had no iHeart. Incredibly versatile on defense. Great offense. Very clutch, too, especially last year. But this year, too.
Clutch. I think the IST Cup performance indicates something different.
IST Cup performance. All right, bro.
Stop
before I start talking about ST and cups, okay?
Yo, a foul is a foul, bro.
Listen, yeah, he choked this one. 7 of 22. Terrible shooting. 6 turnovers. Terrible. When Shea got ruled out, yeah, obviously Dallas it should be closer. It went from like 7.5 to 4.5, but the favorite team was still the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Because they're so deep, you keep reminding us how deep they are.
And they and they did it. I mean, you look at Dort, you look at Aaron Wiggins, very good. Dort had like 8 of 10, like hyper efficient shooting, went way over his line. Aaron Wiggins, great performance. Even Cason Wallace, who had a really mediocre shooting night, I think he was like 4 of 13. He had 4 steals. You can make up for a lot of bad shooting with 4 steals because that's 4 turnovers you forced onto the opposing team. Kenrich Williams, probably the only role player that didn't do too hot. He was 1 of 6, 1 of 5 from 3. But he got his rebounds. He was still okay. So I'm really not looking to blame any of the role players. When you see me talking about other teams like Max Christie, I really feel he's the weakness of that team, right? If LeBron goes 7 of 22, you won't see me blaming Max Christie. But LeBron doesn't go 7 of 22. Jalen Williams is a player that I honestly would say in the regular season, I did not overrate him. In the regular season, Jalen Williams or LeBron, I see no issue with taking Jalen Williams in that conversation. In only the regular season,
What did you just say?
Yes.
Say it again one more time.
Jalen Williams is equal or better than LeBron James in the regular season. I'll say equal, but just because he's a second option, LeBron's more of a first option. But Jalen Williams is supposed to be that guy. When Shea goes down, Jalen Williams usually steps up. We've seen it before. He just didn't today. That's pretty disappointing. Nothing really more I can say to defend him on that. Dallas was throwing a lot at him, but that doesn't excuse 7 of 22 shooting. I just want to shout out some Dallas players. PJ Washington, super clutch, 16 points, 5 assists. Hot as under 14.5. He went over in the last 30 seconds. Shout out my boy. I hate you for that. But no, great game. 4 turnovers, not great, but like I mentioned, OKC just great defense, getting a lot of steals. So PJ Washington and Gafford had 5 turnovers. That's what OKC does. So I'm not really going to blame PJ too much for that, and I instead credit him for his hyper-efficient 16 and 5. But I think the most credit for me goes to Kyrie Irving. This is a player that I've told you, I think Kyrie is... It's weird because the hoopers, right, guys who really care about handles, they'll say things like he's the best guard ever or something crazy like that.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, because, the game is not just handles and it's not just aesthetics. But his finesse and his handles and his shooting and his offensive game in general and him being a taller guard, so him not being a super cone on defense.
6'3".
6'3" is like, come on, Jalen Brunson, Trae Young. I'm talking about those guys, right? And even taller guards like Tyler Hero or Tyrese Halliburton, they're usually a little less coordinated on the defensive end. So the height doesn't help them. Kyrie's in that sort of sweet spot where he still moves very fluid even on defense. He can shuffle and keep up with a lot of things. So for me, I've said this before, but I'm just going to say this again. I think Kyrie Irving might be the best second option in the NBA. Okay, I'm gonna list some real quick. You got the Jaylen Browns of the world, you got the Darius Garlands of the world, you got ADs of the world, you got Jamal Murray's of the world, you got Cats of the world. I think that's 5 pretty good second options right there. I'm taking Kyrie over all those, and that's really not debatable for me. Okay, so this game just once again goes to show that he had 25, 5 and 5. Okay, shooting like 50%, not bad, not great. But I want to highlight that Dallas was down early in the second quarter, and he was a big part of that run that got them back into the lead, and then he never let it go. It was Kyrie and PJ Washington, and then Kyrie. So those, there's reasons I'm shouting out those guys. It's not just the box score. I really like the leadership that I saw, and then also just credit Najee Marshall, double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Did not have him going off that crazy. So I just love the performance there. So, but I'm not gonna say that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a 106-98 game. Yep. OKC should not be putting up 98 points just because they lost.
That's Lakers level performance. No, I'm sick.
Which is what, like earlier, people be like, "Oh, I'm not a real Lakers fan." It's like, I am a real Lakers fan, but you can't get hype over only scoring 102 on some G League level players. So this game, like, if I got role players playing pretty well, like Alex Caruso went 2 of 9, but he was still playing good defense. So all our role players did what they had to do to keep Dallas to a low score. Yep. I look at mostly Jalen Williams as the reason we weren't able to score 108 to 110 points. Now, obviously, does this like move the needle for me long term? No, there's no Chet, no iHeart, no Shea, and ultimately, let's say like J Dub really isn't that guy when it comes to being a first option. Maybe I'm wrong, right? It doesn't matter because that's not going to be OKC's long term future. You're not making J Dub your number one option. So as long as J Dub continues to impress and be excellent when he has great talent around him, like Shea, like Chet, like iHeart, I've really never seen J Dub have terrible games when those guys are playing. So in the context of the OKC championship run, nothing changed for me. I'm not worried at all. But in the context of just my evaluation of J Dub as a player, as a hooper, and maybe just like, if he ever got traded or if he ever wants to move, stuff like this is not great for the resume. Yeah, I know it's just a regular season game, but you're fighting for that top seed. And it was just a little sad to see. And J Dub was to blame. There's really nothing else to say. But you got to credit Kyrie for the leadership from Dallas because this game was still difficult to win for Dallas.
Oh, it's my turn. It's finally my turn because while you were talking, I was getting injured.
Yeah, you're probably getting that haterade. You're just probably sipping on that haterade right there, weren't you?
Water only. That's all I drink. Unlike someone like you,
infused with
someone
haterade.
like you, we check your cup. I don't know what we'll find in there, but let me get to the point.
Man, that's clear. That's all I know.
First of all, my heart almost dropped because I thought I would have to agree with you again that Kyrie was the best second option in the NBA. But no, glad that I can disagree. Cat is better. Okay, but let's talk about the game. I did like Kyrie's performance. I think he's a solid first option. But one of the reasons I like him as second option so much is how much I hate watching him as a first option. I just don't like what I see. So then when I watch him play with Luka and see what he does, the way it looks so much better. I really appreciate that he's one of the best second options I've ever seen. He just fits into the role so well. Because some second options, they like, oh, I wish I could be a first option. Yeah. And Kyrie, he felt like that mentally when he was on the Cavs, even though he didn't look like it when he played. Then he went to the Celtics, went to the Nets, saw what it's really like, saw what your boy J Dub saw last night for one night only. And they be like, oh, that's not for me. I'm not that guy. Which I appreciate that maturity from Kyrie. He just filling that role fantastically. PJ Washington, I also want to shout him out. I really love his floater game. When you watch last year's playoff run, PJ Washington, you cannot underrate him. Some of those games, especially that OKC series, 1 to 7 games, I believe, maybe 6. Regardless, it's close games, and sometimes Luka or Kyrie wasn't getting it going. PJ Washington with the floater. It was really great to see a Dallas fan. Those baseline floaters, oh my goodness. It's really good.
He always shows out against OKC.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing for him.
I respect that for him. You didn't give him any shine, but I want to show him some shine. He had more point guard duties with Doncic being out. I think he was very competent, not too many turnovers, good playmaking, good points. I think overall, across the board, a good performance. So, and then I don't want to get too much in the Kyrie versus Cat thing because it's 1A, 1B, but Cat, for me, is definitely better than Kyrie. The Knicks without Cat is just not too great. Cat is better offensively, better defensively. It's the whole thing because Cat is a mismatch nightmare. Kyrie, not so much.
Bro, your man can't stay on the floor in the playoffs and he got no handle. You talking about Kyrie offensively. Offensively.
Dude, no big man can stop Cat completely.
Bro, Jokic dominates him.
Okay, Jokic. MVP of our league. Okay.
What guard stops Kyrie? Because I seem to remember Curry and Klay Thompson getting crossed up. Couldn't do nothing to my boy.
Wow, Steph Curry being bad at defense?
Klay Thompson?
Omar, what other mind-blowing takes do you have for us? Let me stay on topic. Let me get back to topic.
Ant? When we smoked Ant last year
Anthony Edwards, he's not a defensive guy like that.
So your guy can't play defense.
He's decent at defense.
And we smoked him. And we smoked his pack.
He's decent at defense.
He called Kyrie out and he got his pack smoked. Let's just leave it at that. Second option versus second option.
I mean, sometimes when you call second option, he was the first option first and foremost. Okay, literally first and foremost. And secondly, you can't hate on a guy for talking his talk. It is what it is. And now let's get on to your boy J Dub. What did last night show me? I think he's overrated. He was over my boy Sabonis, the box score beast in all-star voting. I hate that. I didn't like seeing that. Sabonis is better. J Dub, 7 of 22 from the field, 6 turnovers. What did he show me last night? He can't handle the ball, can't pass under pressure, and he's got no three-point jumper. And to add insult to injury, 4 of 8 from the free throw line, 50%. Boy, is Shaq out here.
That's just variance. That's what I'm saying.
4
Some
of
of it's
8.
variance.
Yeah,
he's never gone 4
You
of
say
8.
variance, I say lack of clutch factor. It's a close game, 4 of 8.
Nah, but he been clutch. Look at his fourth quarter stats. When OKC needs them to take over, you know who takes over?
Shea.
More than
SGA.
Shea?
It's
Jalen
SGA
Williams.
every time.
No, that's the thing with SGA. He's consistent. If you ever see him go on a scoring run, it's usually because he bricks 5 shots in a row earlier. No, I'm not saying this to insult him, but he gets to 30 no matter what. So if SGA misses early, he might look like he's taking over in the third quarter. That's just him getting back to his normal numbers. But when you're talking about real takeover, like we got to go get a bucket, J-Dub can hang with the best of them. You hating on him right now. Like, yeah, 4 of 8. What guard would go 4 of 8 normally? Like, you got to admit, he was just off. He was just off.
He's off in a close game. This is a game where he had to step up. So how you tell me he's clutch when this is absolutely the game for him to step up? His first option is out. This is his time to shine. He goes 4 of 8 from the free throw line. 7 of 22 from the field.
So if you choke one game, you not clutch anymore?
Well, it definitely doesn't help.
No, I agree. It doesn't help. I said that myself, but you're trying to paint a narrative out of this whole thing.
Well, because I look at the IST Cup performance. I didn't like what I see there. And then last year's playoff.
OKC choked in that one.
Okay, that's true. But last year's playoff, he wasn't. They lost to Dallas. If he played a little better, if he was that true second option, they could have won.
Dallas is a tough matchup for him because I will say one critique that you pointed out, his 3-ball.
Yeah,
that's a weak.
Exactly. Either bad or streaky. If you're a fan, you call him streaky. If you know ball, you say it's bad.
Okay, I'm not going to debate that one, but in general, him and Shea are worse at the 3 than most top players in the league.
Yes.
And Dallas is really good at crowding the paint and attacking him on the perimeter.
They got Derek
with
Lively,
defense.
Gafford, these great defenders in the paint.
Exactly. And Najee Marshall not bad either.
Absolutely.
And PJ Washington because they didn't have Lively this game, but they were still able to manage exactly what you're saying. So I do want to say that you brought up the playoffs from last year also versus Dallas, and I just think it's a bad matchup. So that's why I'm not indexing, because to say someone's not a clutch player, well, if you put J-Dub against Dallas 10 times, then you'd say he's not a clutch player. That's like me saying LeBron's not a clutch player because he choked against the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. Like, I agree. There's no one can debate that.
See, the thing is, I disagree though. That is actually, I'm glad you bring it out because you're going about it all the wrong way. Okay, what you're saying with J-Dub, his game has a weakness that the Dallas Mavericks can exploit consistently. What happened with that Miami series? That's completely the opposite thing. Dirk Nowitzki and what's that guy? The Terry guy.
No, I don't know. Terry, but Terry Howard, I think, but JJ Barea is the main one.
Okay, yeah, JJ Barea is not a LeBron stopper. LeBron just choked. LeBron beat himself.
That's what I'm saying. That's what J-Dub did. That's what J-Dub did.
That's the thing. That's the thing. No, I would rather the guy who beat himself, because like LeBron, you can figure it out. J-Dub just didn't have the game. He got stopped by Dallas. He didn't stop himself.
You can say that a little bit for the field goal percentage, but I'm talking about the free throws.
Okay, well, free throws.
They didn't make him go 4 of 8.
Yeah, of course, that was a mental thing.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's in his mental. It's in his head a little bit.
But someone like LeBron, he also missed a free throw. I think we can agree it's a mental thing. That ghost has followed him his entire career. So your GOAT couldn't figure out the free throw thing, but now J-Dub, yeah, that guy. I mean, I love a smile, a chill guy, but he's gonna figure out his free throw ghosts.
He ain't got no free throw ghost. He got a Dallas ghost, maybe. But I mean, hey, we didn't have Shea. We didn't have Shea.
So you're not tripping over this.
We didn't have Shea. We didn't have iHeart. We had 3 elite all-stars missing.
iHeart is not an all-star. Please.
iHeart should be. If you know ball, iHeart. Here's iHeart. Okay, ready? I'm in the frame. And I'm out the frame, right? Yeah. Even lower. Got to get the bicep out. I'm at Sabonis now. You can't see it, but I'm showing Sabonis right now. That's the level of difference in this league. That's what we were missing. So
what?
It is what it is, man. It is what
I was gonna ask you if you think iHeart is an all-star in the Western front court because the front court is stacked. But then you say that about my boy Sabonis. That just outrageous.
Bro, who's the best big man in the West after Jokic? It's probably Ihart. I'm trying to think of another one.
Dude, are you serious? It's front court, so forwards count. So your boy LeBron. KD also counts. You going center for center specifically?
Okay. Because of usage, right? LeBron is worse in the regular season, but he's asked to do a lot more than Ihart is. He's asked to do a lot more.
Yeah, he's just better. You can say it however you want, but he's a better
player. And I guess
player.
you could argue Sengun, but I don't think Sengun is really asked to do that much.
Sengun is definitely better than Ihart.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
When Jalen Green is not doing well, as you like to point out yourself,
he has
be
Fred
quite
VanVleet.
streaky.
He has Amen Thompson.
Okay.
He has Dylan Brooks.
Okay. Or that great offense.
Those are all good players.
They're great defensive players. Fred VanVleet is on a historically bad rut right now, so I don't know where that's coming from.
Like the last month or two. Okay. Before that,
this is last month. He's been trash.
Yeah, but then Jalen Green stepped up, and then before that, Fred VanVleet. And also because they all play defense, that's what allows Sengun to be a bit of a cone on defense, and he gets to spend all his energy.
Sengun's not bad on defense. You can't.
I mean, for
Ihart's a defensive specialist.
Yeah, he's a great defender.
So then, how can a defensive specialist be like?
Because he's also good on offense. He gets you hyper efficient 11 and like 5-6 assists. His passing is underrated. His passing is very underrated. How many assists your boy Sabonis gets? About 6. I would know. I take the under 6.5 all the time. Ihart, when he first joined OKC, he was getting them 3.5, 4.5 lines. Check his lines now: 5.5, 6.5. He passing way more. That's underrated. That's slept on. And we were missing that last night, and we would have won if he was in there for sure. Again, I'm not taking the blame off J Dub. I just think it's not a position.
Like you're trying to take the blame off.
It's not a position. It's not a position he finds himself in frequently. You got.
So he couldn't step up.
When you ain't got the reps, you know what? Who was it? Jackie Chan? Who was it?
What about Jackie Chan? We talking about basketball right now.
Nah. It's like you don't fear the man who's practiced 1,000 things one time. You fear the man who's practiced one thing 1,000 times. J Dub has
Bruce
a lot
Lee,
of
my guy.
Bruce Lee, my
That's Bruce
Listen,
Lee.
Asian badasses. Okay, that's my bad. That's my bad. I did not mean offense. They both cool. Okay.
You saved that. Okay, I'll give you that.
That's how I view it with J Dub. Is like, even if I'm gonna give you some ground, I agree it wasn't a good game. I open with that, but I just think it's hard to judge him too much because it's like, not only is he normally a second option, or if you want to argue third with Chet, whatever, you can argue it. He's used to having a certain level of team around him, certain type of guys hitting shots, certain what about the defense, right? He lost Chet, then they got Ihart. Now he didn't have Ihart. He literally didn't have a big man. His only big man, the closest thing he had was like Kenrich Williams. Right? So I'm just saying, I don't know how much I want to judge him for that because it's not reps. He doesn't have reps in this situation. That's all I'm saying. That's all. But when I've seen him be the second option and he needs to go be clutch on the offensive end, get a steal and go get me a midi bucket, go get me a dunk, I've seen J Dub do that plenty of times. So I feel like you're trying to besmirch his name because you're trying to up some less than stellar players.
I'm not besmirch him. I think the fans overrate him a little bit. I like him as a player. Like I said, I like him as a player. But compared to my boy Sabonis, he is worse. Okay? And you know what? If we want to use dumb quotes, to make our argument.
Dumb quotes. I live by these quotes.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Luka Doncic said it best. Everyone's tough when they are. Okay? You don't find out who you really are until the times get tough. All right,
Are you talking about the guy who whines to the refs and doesn't play defense? That's your GOAT?
I used 2 quotes. I did 2 for 1. So the times got tough for J Dub. His boy, first option out. Ihart, best center in the West corner. This guy is out.
Outside of Jokic.
Okay. So that still doesn't make it any better. What did he do? He choked. So we found out who J Dub really is, and he's a choker.
Nah. You hate it, bro. But all right, let's wrap this one up because you hating, and we got to get
you have no defense. You have no defense left.
I've given all the defense I can.
Sabonis, come on.
I've given all the defense I can.